So if you want to use Ineffa properly, you definitely want to use a good weapon on her. In this video, I'll be helping you choose the best weapon you should use on your Ineffa, and we're going to be doing that by ranking all the weapons and all the polearms on a tier list based around which are going to be the best for her. Before we do that though, if you're trying to get Ineffa or constellations or any characters, I'd recommend visiting LDshop to get your Genesis crystals. LDshop is a cheap, fast, and safe game top-up website that offers top-ups for many games, including Genshin Impact. As you guys can see here, these are the offers they have for Genshin, and all of them are cheaper than the official game store, starting off from 15% cheaper and even more. For example, we can see that 3,280 Genesis crystals offer. It costs $50 in the official game store, but here it only costs $39.10. That's 10.89 or more than 21% saved by using LDshop. They also have many other things like bundles, character outfits, Welkins, and stuff like that. But yeah, when you want to buy, just click on the offer you'd like to choose. For example, I'm gonna buy the 300 crystals offer. You only need to enter your server region and user ID. Obviously, make sure they're right, and then click on top up. And then you just choose your payment method, and then enter your details, and then just pay. Shortly after that, you'll just receive the crystals in your account. And right now, if you use my link, you'll get a 15% off coupon and also an extra 5% off. That can save you up to $50. They also have more cool things on the website. For example, if you spend more than $80, that can allow you to win a free Welkin. You can go and check it out yourself. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment and top up now. But yeah, first of all, we gotta understand what does Ineffa need on a weapon for her, so we understand where we're gonna rank the weapons like we're gonna do. So first of all, she's mainly just gonna be a support slash sub DPS. She's gonna be dealing damage, and also she's gonna be helping reactions in general, and also providing a shield. Her shield, her reaction helping, and obviously her damage too are gonna scale off of attack, and her damage can crit too, like any normal damage character. So basically what she's gonna need on a weapon is that she's gonna need attack, so either a high base attack weapon or just attack percentage. It's gonna be pretty valuable on Ineffa. A lot of things are going to scale with that, so you definitely want to provide attack for her from your weapon too. And then you're going to need crit, since it's going to help your damage, preferably crit damage since she already scales with crit rate, but crit rate is also going to be pretty good. And then finally, elemental mastery is also going to be pretty good. She's like a reaction heavy character in general, so elemental mastery is not going to be bad. Alright, so knowing that, let's rank the weapons on a tier list. Starting off with the 3-star weapons, we have the white tassel. It's just crit rate, probably just put at like low C tier, just for the crit rate. Halberd is just gonna be an attack stat stick. It's not that bad, I'll also throw it at C tier, but it's definitely not a weapon you want to use. And then finally, the black tassel is completely useless, so I'll just put it at D tier. Now, moving on to the 4-star options, we have the Dragon's Bane. It's gonna have an elemental mastery substat, which is not that bad, but the base attack is gonna be pretty low, and also the passive is gonna be pretty much useless. So I'll probably put it a high C tier just for the elemental mastery and the little higher base attack than 3-star weapons, but in general it's not a weapon you'd want to use. Prototype Star Glitter is just energy recharge and then normal charge attacks damage, completely useless. I'll put it like D tier probably. Crescent Pike is just physical damage, same thing, useless passive. I'll probably put it also D tier. Blackcliff Pole, it's gonna give you crit damage, and then the Blackcliff passive, if you kill an enemy, it's gonna give you some attack up to 3 enemies, which is pretty good if you can get some stacks. But it's gonna have the obvious problem. Obviously, if you face one big enemy, then you won't be able to have any stacks, so you're not gonna have any attack. It's a pretty inconsistent weapon, but in general, it's not bad. You're gonna have crit damage and maybe some attack sometimes, which is pretty valuable. If you can get like 2-3 stacks, it's gonna be an A tier weapon. Without any stacks, it's like C tier. I'll just put it average at like a B tier weapon. I'll put a high B tier. We have the Deathmatch. The Deathmatch is gonna give you crit rate, a huge crit rate substat, especially for a 4-star weapon. And then if there are 2 opponents, your attack is gonna be increased by 16% and your defense also by 16. And if there are fewer than 2 opponents, you're gonna have a 24% attack increase. So basically it gives you crit rate and then between 16 and 24% attack increase, which is pretty decent. I think that match is a pretty good weapon for her. It's just like everything you need basically, but it's nothing really special too, really. I think I put it like either high B tier or low A tier. I think I'd keep it like low A tier. I think it deserves it. Lithic Spear, it's just gonna be attacking and more attack if you use leeway characters. I'm not really sure how many leeway characters you're gonna be using with Ineffa, but usually it's not gonna be a whole lot. So it's basically just an attack stat stick. I'll probably put it like B tier too. It's not too bad, but I don't think it's the weapon you want to use. Favonius Lanes is just energy recharge, probably like low C tier, honestly. I don't think it's the weapon you want to use. I mean, it's good for support, but not for Ineffa. I don't think you'd want to use the Favonius on her. We have the Royal Spear, basically it's just an attack stat stick. Throw a B tier too. Dragon Spine Spear, just D tier. Cannon Cross Spear, it's gonna be elemental mastery. It's not gonna be terrible, especially if you put refinements on it. I think I'd also throw a B tier. The Catch, if you have it, Just out of like D tier, honestly. Wavebreaker's Fin, it's not gonna be terrible. It's just an attack statistic, pretty high base attack for a 4-star weapon. But I'm not sure if you'd want to use it. I'll probably put it like B tier too. I think B tier is gonna be worth it. The passive is completely useless, but you can use it as like a small attack statistic. So yeah, Moon Piercer is just elemental mastery, and it could give you some attack if you do like the spread or aggravate reactions or quicken and stuff like that. So I think it's possible. I don't think it's gonna be a bad weapon too. I think I'd also put it B tier. Missive Wind Spear is just gonna increase your attack and also more attack and elemental mastery from your passive. I think it's also pretty good, especially with refinements. If you have some, I put a B tier too though. I think it's pretty fair for it. Battle of the Fords, it's gonna give you crit rate and then a huge amount of elemental mastery if you have 3 different elemental types in your party, which I think is pretty possible with Ineffa. Without that, it's not gonna be really like a super huge weapon, but with it, it's gonna be pretty good. Just like 120 elemental mastery, even more with the refinements if you have on it. So honestly, I think it's a pretty good weapon, especially for 4-star. I think it does deserve A tier in my opinion, especially with the refinements. But obviously, you need to make sure the passive's activated, so you need at least 3 elements. That means like Electro and then 2 other elements. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty good weapon. The huge amount of elemental mastery is gonna be pretty good, and then crit rate is obviously gonna be super appreciated. So yeah, I think it does deserve A tier. Rightful Reward, just HP, basically D tier. Dialogues with the Sages, like D tier. Prospector's Drill, it's basically just an attack statistic. Passive is not gonna be able to be activated, so I think I put it like C tier. Mountain Bracing Bolt, just I think D tier. Footprint of the Rainbow, just defense, so it's going D tier. And then finally, Tamairotai something. It's just energy recharge, and then it's gonna give you some attack. It's not terrible, I guess, just for the attack, so I think I put it like C tier. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the 4-star weapons. Now moving on to the 5-star weapons, and usually they're gonna be better. It's just because of like the high base stack, and she does appreciate that by a lot. But yeah, now moving on to the 5-stars, we have Staff of Homa. It's gonna give you crit damage, which is pretty good. And then the passive stats gonna convert some HP to attack and also give you some more HP. I think it deserves S tier in my opinion. It's gonna give you a decent amount of attack with a high base stack already, with also some crit damage, so it's a pretty good weapon. I put it like probably low S tier, maybe high A tier or low S tier, but I think it deserves S tier, so I think I put it S tier. It's just as good as it gets usually. Skyward Spine is just energy recharge and then some crit rate maybe from the passive, but in general it's not the weapon you'd want to use. I'll probably put it like B tier just for the super high base stack, but in general it's not really a good weapon for her, especially for a 5-star. Vortex Vanquisher is basically just an attack statistic. I think I'll probably put it like mid A tier maybe, just for the attack. We have the Jade Wing Spear, super high base stack and then crit rate as a substat, and then it can increase your attack from the passive, which is pretty good. So you get crit rate, some attack, and then super high base stack. I think it also deserves S tier. I'll put it like low S tier too, probably next to the Staff of Homa. We have the Calamity Queller, super high base stack, and then some elemental damage bonus, and then more attack for the passive. So it's the ultimate attack statistic, and that's gonna be pretty good on Ineffa. I don't think it's gonna be like extraordinarily good, especially because it doesn't have any crit rate or crit damage or elemental mastery or anything like that, but it's definitely gonna give you the attack you need. So personally, I think it deserves like high A tier. It's just an attack statistic, and attack is not like, you know, the rarest stat that exists in this game. So I don't think you need it by that much from your weapon. It's probably much better if the weapon is a little more diversified. So I put it like high A tier, but definitely is still a pretty good weapon. I think it's the best at A tier. And Gulf of Lightning, just energy recharge, and then it's gonna increase your attack based on your energy recharge. So it's gonna give you some attack with the high base stack. It's not terrible, but I don't think it's that good. I'd also put it like B tier, just same as the Skyward Spine. We have Staff of the Scarlet Sands, low base stack, but it's gonna give you a huge crit rate substat, and it's gonna convert your elemental mastery to attack, which is pretty good on Ineffa because you're gonna be building some elemental mastery on her, which is pretty good. It could give you a good amount of attack from that. So honestly, I also do think it deserves S tier. I think it's gonna be right here with these. We have Arlecchino's weapon, super high base stack, and then crit rate as a substat. The passive is basically just damage bonus, so it's just super high base stack and then some crit rate. I think it deserves A tier. We have the Lumiduce Elegy. It's just crit rate as a substat, average base stack for a 5-star, and it's gonna increase your attack, just a flat increase from the passive, which is pretty good. The rest of the passive, I don't think you're gonna be able to trigger, burst, so it doesn't matter. Basically, it's just 15% attack and then some crit rate and a decently high base attack. I think it's a pretty decent weapon. I just put it A tier. It's not super good, but pretty decent. I have the Symphonus of Sense, average base attack 2 for a 5-star, and then crit damage as a substat. Super good in my opinion. And then also a flat attack increase from the passive, which is pretty good. And then when you're off field, your attack is going to be increased. That works on Ineffa, obviously. The rest of the passive, you need to be able to heal for you to activate it, so it's not going to be possible, but generally it's still going to give you a 24% attack increase, which is pretty huge. And then crit damage as a substat, and then also a high base attack. So in general, I do think this weapon is going to be pretty diversified and good. So I think it does deserve S tier 2. And then finally, we have her signature weapon, Fractured Halo. Also average base attack, also crit damage as a substat, so it's basically the same thing. It's going to give you 24% attack after using elemental skill or burst, but it's also going to give you support if you create a shield. It's going to boost the new reaction, Lunar Charged, by 40% if the equipping character creates a shield, which is obviously tailor-made for Ineffa. So yeah, obviously this is going to be her best weapon. It's also going to buff her team-wide damage in general, so yeah, it's definitely going to be a top of S tier. I think it's probably going to be a little better, like considerably better than all of these, just because of like the super specific Lunar Charge damage thing. A 40% increase is also like super good. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth it if you're taking like Ineffa seriously, but otherwise in general, she does have like a lot of good free-to-play weapons. And also if you have any 5-stars in general, they're probably going to be decent on her. We can see she has a lot of weapons that I would consider being S tier, even though they're a little worse than her signature, but they're still in the same tier in my opinion. Still A tier weapons too, pretty good. Also if you have the deathmatch and stuff like that. So I do think she has a lot of weapon options. I don't think you necessarily need her signature weapon, but it's definitely going to be a good boost for her damage, that's for sure. I might review her signature weapon separately in another video. But yeah, for now, that was the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.